So I kind of drew the high line on SEO, but like what are the types of SEO? Like, what does that look like?
Well, you know what? Let me share my screen real quick.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do here, let me just, whoops. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Let me know when you can see it.
Got it.
Okay. So, I mean, when I'm talking about SEO strategy, there's a lot that goes into that. Everything from what you do on your website to what you do off the website, off your website. But like a lot of the things that what I'm looking to do is to understand, do I need to compete locally, or do I got to compete what I call nationally or internationally or organically? Because your approach is going to change because they're two different sciences. And I'm going to go into that. I think what happens here is that a lot of people will spend a lot of time and energy on one thing. Because I know a lot of SEO companies that come in and they fix your website and they think that the 25% that they're doing on on-page SEO and the 15% they're doing on setup is SEO. And I can't say it's not, but I mean, there's a whole lot
It's just
left.
not the whole picture.
You know what I mean? It's just, you're looking at, a pretty decent amount that's left, and so if you're not committing to content and you don't know how to do backlinking, that's going to be a serious problem. But when I'm thinking about local SEO, what I'm really looking at is that you have these local pin packs. A lot of those are really based upon your geography, and there's a science for that. And then there's also a different science for organic SEO. And I think you got to know both if you're going to be in certain industries that need to capitalize on critical keywords, but also people that are trying to find things that are in their local region. When I talk about local SEO, every single year Moz puts out, it's sort of like the critical ranking factors that you're going to need to do to get into those pin packs. And we share this report with our clients. And so if you're watching this video and you want this information, please feel free to contact us. I'll be happy to send you this report. But one of the critical things I want to do for local SEO is I want to know, hey, you know what? What is going into, what are the critical factors that's going into local SEO is understanding that every directory that you need to be on has to have consistency with this thing called NAP. And with NAP, what we're really talking about is your name, address, and phone number. And so what happens is that we're going to generate these reports, and it's going to identify what directories are you on, how consistent is your NAP, and then how quickly can we correct that? Because we have software that can clean up all of these directories all in, all of 10 to 15 minutes.
So why don't people see that as important, Chris?
A lot of people just don't know that they have these errors.
So it's kind of an awareness thing.
It's definitely an awareness thing. The directories that you have, the directories that are on this list are one of basically the directories never asked for your permission to be on those directories. Right. They scraped Google or they scraped something. Yeah. And then it's your job to go and correct or clean that up. And so few people do. Now, what you're going to notice on some of those directories is it's saying like, hey, like Judy's book or something like that. You might be thinking, no one goes to Judy's book to find out my company. You know what I mean? But why you want to be on those, why you want to clean up your brand on those directories is because those are expectations from Google that you are going to have a consistent branding across all these directories. And when you do the effort to clean that up, it's going to increase your domain authority. When it increases your domain authority, keywords are ranked better.
I am so glad you said that, right? Because that's one of those words that's just sort of could be a little nebulous. So the term that Chris just said was domain authority, and it's one of those things. It's kind of like a report on how much authority your domain has or ranks with Google. So from an aspect of domain authority, a newer site, doesn't have the authority that an established site with a lot of backlinks, a lot of traffic